Everybody, Rob Anderson, Clean Power Wash, Salisbury, Maryland. Sorry for the bumps. This part of the road is pretty garbage. So lots of questions recently about roof cleaning. Been doing it for about 2 years actually I guess 3 years really. And I have gone from 12-volt pump cleaning, or actually really, sad to admit it, but many years ago I used to clean it with a surface cleaner. I now know that that's a dumb thing to do. But I've used 12-volt system, I've used gas, currently using a booster pump with a proportioner. I've done batch mixing, all kinds of stuff. So I haven't done air diaphragm, but that's another system, and I can still tell you the general stuff about it. At the end of the day, regardless of whatever kind of mix you're using, your options are pretty much, pump up sprayer. Don't do that; that'll take forever. 12-volt pump. There's a lot of different versions. There's Fat Boys, Delvans. You can get a Northern Tool one, Flow Jets, all kinds of stuff. Depending on whatever vendor, and it's easy to start off with a 12-volt system. Simplest to use, cheapest to buy. It's also very easy to ruin them. But early on, I would actually really recommend, instead of trying to build it yourself, buy something that comes with the hose reel, comes with the hose. Do not buy the clear plastic poly braid stuff. It's absolutely garbage, and it doesn't even burn well. When I got rid of my old poly braid and upgraded to some Curatech or Goodyear hose, whatever it was, I tried to burn that old hose. I hated it so much. But anyways, buy whatever system, so you've got you've got some sort of hose reel, stainless steel, or aluminum, whatever it may be. Get that, and then as far as the pumps though, so you get your 12-volt pump. When it says 5 gallons a minute and 60 psi, you're probably getting 4 gallons a minute and less psi. I originally bought the Gen 2 system from Power Wash Store. It came with 2 pumps, so that was a big plus. And was well designed. It's not set up well for troubleshooting and fixing stuff. There wasn't enough space for it, but that worked well. Got me going. Made a decent amount of money. But that with the 12-volt system though, so it will, depending on how good a condition it's in, it will prime itself, or if necessary, you can give it a little water, and that'll help, lube the seals and whatever, and prime the pump. But it will prime it. It'll get the mix going through there, and then you should have some sort of accumulator tank, so that helps to give you a more consistent PSI. But once it gets fully pumped or fully primed, and the line's fully pressurized, if you're not spraying on the gun, it stops. Most guys, you can just wire it either to a solar charger or do a trickle charger at night. If you've got a pressure washer with a that can either do a key start or whatever, will have a way to then also continue to charge with the alternator, charge the battery so it stays fully charged. Supposedly you're not supposed to use both at the same time. As far as battery life is concerned, I have not found that to be an issue or anything to really be all that concerned about. But I mean, you got to make sure your battery is always charged up, or have an extra battery and swap it out, which, if it's not you, if you've got employees, can be a little bit more difficult to deal with. The other big issue with the 12-volt, again, is going to be your overall volume. It does not seem, again, to put out anywhere near as much as some of the other systems do. Air is going to be very consistent. You will have, I guess, say, a little bit of a pulsation. Does require, obviously, to have some sort of an air compressor on there, and then the diaphragm pump on it. There's a lot of different options with that. I have not personally bought any of them, but again, wide range. You can buy some cheaper ones, you can buy some, you know, really high quality expensive ones. I would defer to whatever vendor you're thinking about using and ask them what they would recommend. Usually they'll have a couple of options. As far as gas, we use the Liquiforce with the Comet triplex pump. That thing's a beast. We were using batch mixes, so basically meaning that we would take a big tank, put our bleach, put our water, put our soap in it, and then spray that on the roof. But that one's 10 gallons a minute, so I mean, and 150 psi. So that's basically the highest psi and the most flow, or at least that I've seen with any of the other systems. The only real reason why we switched now to booster was so that we could use the proportioner, which allows us to, you know, no longer have to have a mixed tank or remembering what strength's in there or anything like that. It's just a, you know, wash and go. We're done. Let's see if my guys are over here real quick, because if they are, we'll jump in on that video. Does not look like they're down there. So as far as the booster pump system, so again, that's electric. It does require a generator of some sorts. Yes, they are down there, so this will be fun. They do get the does require a generator, or you can go you know, run it off of a 12-volt battery. I prefer just to run a generator or run it off of the customer's supply. Yeah, doing too much there yet. But so far we've just run it off the generator. If it was a commercial client and we knew the electric was going to be solid, then I would deal with it in different ways. Yeah. With the proportioner, the nice thing with that, it's able to dial up whatever percent mix you want. So if you want to do the house wash mix at 1%, and then you want to go to a roof mix at you know, at 5% or 6% or 3%, whatever you want to do, you just dial it up. You can use that with the air diaphragm, you can use it with a 12 volt, you can use it with booster pump. I like the booster pump, and especially with all the plumbing and everything, that you can force feed it water or have it, you know, creating suction, getting this stuff done. The biggest drawback I would say is just honestly the overall, you've got a lot more connections and hoses and stuff, and it's more complicated from a just all the different options. Once it's all set up and you understand it, it's, you know, it's like 3 knobs and you're good to go. You do have to spend a little bit of time priming the pump and stuff, getting all the air bubbles and whatnot out so the proportioner works properly. That's pretty much it as far as the actual pumps and options. Price wise, again, 12 volts the cheapest. I spent $1,500, $1,600 on my Liquiforce. That's before all the shipping and whatever else fun stuff. But again, that was just the motor and the pump. Booster pump system was like $750. The air diaphragms, and again, when I talk about the booster pump, that's just the pump. That's a bare bones pump. That's not including proportion or any of that other stuff. For the air diaphragm, for the pump, or the diaphragm really for that matter, because there's no electric to it, 500 to 1,500. So it's going to cost about the same as much as gas does. And yeah, so and certainly with boosters you can go higher too. Apparently they're working on a system that'll work with really high flow. You would just need a larger pickup tube, larger metering valves. Just a bunch of stuff has to be sized up to the next rung in order to be able to, you know, to run it all properly. So that's pretty much it as far as the machines and the pumps.